For those of you who are here already, and I will repeat this for the other attendees coming in and joining us on time, but for those of you who are here already in time, let me remind you that our speaker, our expert for the day, has requested that we be comfortably dressed in loose clothing so that stretching and moving can be at ease. Please ensure you have a yoga mat handy. A blanket will be just as good if you don't have a yoga mat at home. Please make sure that your phones are on silent, that you're in a comfortable, well ventilated room, preferably without an AC. And she will guide you through more details in just a bit. Oh yes, I've completely forgot to mention 2-3 cushions or pillows at hand. Please ensure you have that. For those who are already here, you can grab these few things and settle down before we begin formally in just a bit. Good afternoon and welcome to everyone who has been able to join us virtually for one more of our webinars in the Jamnabai Narsee Education Series. We are overwhelmed by the appreciation and favorable response to this initiative undertaken by the 3 schools of Jamnabai Narsee under the umbrella of the Narsee Monji Educational Trust. Particular mention must be made of Mr. Sujay Jairaj, who proactively sprung forth and enabled reaching people virtually in this manner and with content herein that augments their quality of life. We realize that we cannot always control what goes on outside, but we can definitely always control what goes on inside. And this afternoon's webinar on yoga for a complete detox will help us do just that. I am Sonali Gandhi, your host and moderator, and would like to express certain prerequisites for attendees before the speaker is introduced and takes us through the session. Please ensure that you're comfortably dressed, loose clothes that allow you to stretch and move at ease. Please have 3 pillows or cushions handy. A mat to work on, a yoga mat preferably. If not, a blanket will do just fine. Please ensure that your phones are on silent and that you're in a quiet room that is well ventilated, preferably without the AC on. And it's too late to remind you that now, but we hope you've had an early and a light lunch. Now that we are all set, let me waste no more time and introduce to you Miss Tanvi Mehra, the founder of Tangerine Arts Studio and Yoga Station. Miss Mehra is a certified yoga teacher, professional dancer, and her studio aims to provide lovers of fitness easy access to varied workout routines within one venue. She's going to take us through a session today that aims at teaching us how to experience complete detox during the lockdown. Have a good one, everyone. Over to you, Miss Tanvi.
Thank you so much, Sonali. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And I'm just going to get straight into the practice. Just come into comfortable seated posture. This practice is for every level. So if you're a complete beginner, don't worry. And for those of you who already practice, you feel a little more comfortable, and I will give a little more variation. So those of you who want to go more intense variations can go for the intense variations, and I will give a little more of the beginner basic variations. So there'll always be something for all of you, okay? So we'll start in a comfortable seated posture, just like this, or any posture of your choice. Keeping your eyes shut, your spine straight, and your palms comfortably on your quads or knees. Gently come into this position and make any adjustments you need to right now. Gently bringing now the last 2 fingers in contact with the tip of the thumb. That would be your ring finger and your little finger in contact with the tip of the thumb. and your middle finger straight and joint. It's called the Prana Mudra. Once in this mudra, I want you to just spend the first few moments of your practice in complete silence and stillness. Allowing your body to settle physically on the mat within the room that you're in. And allowing your mind to arrive within your body so that you're completely present. And now that you feel a little more settled physically and have arrived mentally, let's draw the attention to the prana, which is the breath. The hand gesture you're in will help you really focus, connect with your breath. And just observe how that breath starts to flow in and out through the nostrils. Breathing in, the breath is flowing in through the nostrils. The belly is inflating like a balloon. Breathing out through the nostrils, you'll feel the belly very naturally deflating towards your lower back. Enjoy this rhythm of the breath as we move into 10 deep breaths, the longest and the slowest, most mindful breaths that you can invite through the nostrils. Inhaling through the nostrils for 3 counts. 1, 2, 3. Exhale through the nostrils for 5 counts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Breathe out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try to stay with this rhythm for another 5 breaths. Continue to stay with this deep breath throughout today's practice, as long, as deep, and as slow as is possible. As you gently draw your palms now into Namaste, center of the chest. It's called Atmanjali. every word that we speak in the yoga practice, usually in Sanskrit, from the mudra to the hand gestures, from the pranayams to the asanas. You're going to start to move into 3 deep Om chants with me now before we begin the asana practice. So let's begin with a deep inhalation for 3 deep Om chants together. One last time. Gently peel open your palms like you're reading a book. Keeping your eyes shut, tilt your face towards the palms. And very slowly open your eyes. Release your palms, and I would like for you to stay in the seated position, any seated pose of your choice. Just in case you feel my feet have fallen asleep, my legs need a little bit of a stretch, please go ahead and stretch and then come back to the seated position. However you wish to stretch, however you wish to release. And I will meet you once again in the cross-leg pose, all right? If anyone's not very comfortable with the cross-leg pose, you can always take a pillow and place it under your hips so that you feel a little more uplifted. Now we're right here and we're going to start to release the neck. So you're going to interlace your fingers. This is called interlaced fingers. And you're going to place it right behind your head like this. Inhale and open up your elbows. Look up, chin up, chest up. Just expand your chest, expand your elbows to the back and look up. You'll feel a stretch all the way into the mid-back. On the exhalation, I want you to pull your shoulders down into the spine. Draw your elbows towards each other and really stretch the back of your neck, which is called the nape of the neck. So just pin your head down and stay here. Moving on to the second, inhale and look up. So I want you to breathe deeply so that the movement can last. And exhale deeply so that this movement can last till your exhalation. Chin down to the throat pit, shoulders down in towards the spine, down towards the spine. 3, inhale and expand. One of my favorite neck releases, especially if you've been at your laptop for long, you've been working a lot through the household chores. Exhale and down, a lot of time on your phones. Shoulders down, elbows towards each other. Let's do this 2 more times. Inhale and up. Remember not to hurry. So take exhale and down. Shoulders down, elbows towards each other. And we're going to go for one last round. And this one we'll hold in the upward position. So look up and keep the chest in full expansion for 5. Deep breathe. 4. See how good it feels to open up the elbows a little further back. 3, 2, and 1. And now we'll do the opposition. Shoulders relaxed. Take your hands onto that head. Pull your elbows towards each other. And we'll stay looking down for 5. Deep breathe. Just allow the nape of your neck, that's your cervical region, the neck region to really feel that length through the vertebrae. 3, 2, shoulders down everyone. And 1. Excellent. Slowly release and let your hands gently drop down towards the thighs. And keep your left hand as is, which is wherever it is. You can even keep your left hand to the floor. Take your right hand, this is my right hand, and I'm placing the right hand on the left side of the head, just very close to the ear on the temple. I'm going to pull my shoulders back down, which is what we were doing earlier, and I'm going to gently pull my right ear towards the right shoulder, which is going to really give my left side of the neck this beautiful extension. So left hand on the thigh or left hand on the floor, and stay here. So this is where we're going to kind of linger for a little longer, for 5 more deep breaths. 4, you can actually feel that tension draining out here. The neck holds a lot of tension, especially when we're really stressed mentally, emotionally. The neck definitely takes all that rigidity and the stiffness. 2, and I'm sure all of us have been feeling different amounts of stress, anxiety, uncertainty during these times. So we do definitely have some neck tension. Gently release, and we will replicate the stretch to the other side. So right hand down, left hand towards the head, the temple, the right side of the head. And now gently pull your left ear towards the left shoulder, draining out all the tension on the right side. Now, common mistake here is everyone when you kind of have your whole spine tilting. So try to keep your spine upright, but only your neck tilting, so that you really isolate and work exactly in the area of tension. So a lot of times the physical posture causes tension. If you're slouching, if you're overworked, if you're not sleeping enough, if you're holding our kids or the children, or doing a lot of household work, so that physical activity can cause a lot of tension. And there's the major tension in neck and shoulders comes from the mental baggage that we're holding. That's why they say, do not wear or do not carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. There's a reason why that is a saying, because it actually happens. All the mental tension starts to drain into the neck and then the shoulders. So we're all probably feeling the tightness for different reasons. Some of us for similar reasons. Just stay here for 1. Stretching the right side of the neck. And then slowly, gently come back to the center. Excellent, everyone. And now from here, I want you to take your hands and grab onto your elbows like this. So right hand on the left elbow, left hand on the right elbow. And you're going to take your elbows up towards the sky like this. Okay, so if you feel like this is too intense, you can even hold on to your wrist, or if this feels like too intense. And now from here, I just want you to move your ribcage. So this is your ribcage right here, this bony structure. We're just going to rotate from the ribcage. So we're here. I'm going to gently allow my spine to tilt towards the right side. Round it back, really pushing my spine back towards the wall behind me. So I'm in a deliberate slouch. Now I'm gently lengthening my spine towards the left side, and then I come back up to straight spine. 2, right side, forward, left side, and up. Keep going. 3 more times. 3, forward, left side, and up. Perfect. 4. Forward, round the back, slouch, left side, and up. Last one. 5. Forward, left side, and up. We're going to reverse this. Left side, forward, right side, and up. So you really feel a lot of the tension in the ribcage trying to melt here. Forward, left side, and up. 3 more times. Left side, forward, round the back, right side, up. 2 more times. Keep breathing into the burn. Your shoulders will be feeling a bit of a burn. And keep deep breathing for 1 big rotation, 1 last rotation. And relax. Good job, guys. So let your arms drop down, and now slowly, gently. If you were sitting on a pillow, you can keep it to the side or keep it handy. And I am going to be facing you in side profile, but you can keep facing me, so don't worry. I just want you to be able to see what I'm doing, and then you can follow however you wish to. Okay? So We're opening up the legs like this because we've been sitting for quite a bit of time. And now we're going to go for 10 big rotations, just the way I'm doing, towards the right side. So it's for your ankles, the rotation. We can start together. So let's go clockwise for 10 big rotations. 9, take your time. See if you can have your toes literally touch the floor as they circle in this clockwise rotation. 3. So you see I'm pointing my toes, trying to touch the floor, then swinging my legs to one side, all the way to the sky, and then to the right. That's mindful big movements. 4. 5, your hands are just behind you in this comfortable reclined position. 6. 7, so I'm starting off with what's called joint mobility. So I just open up your neck and shoulders a bit. Now I'm getting to the ankles. 3 more rotations. 2 and 1. Good. Let's reverse it for 10 on the other side. So we're going anti-clockwise. 2, 3, big circles. 4, lovely. 5, 6, 7, 8, keep deep breathing. 9 and 10. Good job, guys. Let's come back to the center and let's flap the backs of the legs like this. So I'm just kind of gently beating the right and left leg like this to the floor. So it's just to get a little bit of circulation in the legs, and then gently swing your legs from side to side. So just in case you've had a very hectic morning, being a Monday, start of the week, you've just finished feeding the kids, or feeding your husband or your family at home, having your meals yourself, you kind of get a little bit of a slumpy mode when you've just about eaten your dinner or your lunch or any meals, especially your lunch, especially it's just going to wake you up a little bit. You're going to just again swing a little bit, flap a little bit, find what works for you. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. Just to open you out, just do any movement. And now when you're done, you stop. You're going to keep your feet together. And now watch what I'm doing. I'm going to keep my hands, these hands are going to be all 10 fingers facing back like this on the mat. And I'm going to bend my knees, all right? I will keep my feet apart at this point. And now I'm going to gently swing my knees towards the right side. So my hands are still there. My knees have gently dropped towards the right side, right and left. And now gently drop my knees to the left side. Now, why am I doing this? Because I want to start wiggling my hips away from my hands. So let's say that your hands are cemented on the floor. Cemented means they're completely stuck there, they're not to move. But what will start to move is your hips. And very naturally, when you kind of move from right to left, you're already kind of getting a little bit of movement away from my hands. My hands are still stuck right here behind. While this movement right and left is starting to take my hips further away from the hands. So very slowly we're doing this twisting movement to take the hips away from the hands. And you come to a point where you feel like, okay, this is quite a stretch. I want to stop here. You stop that at that point when it feels like, okay, this is feeling like a good stretch, but I will stop right now because I cannot go any further. Do not get to that point where it feels too overwhelming to hold, because we will be holding position. So this is where I stop today. I feel like this is a good enough stretch for me at this point. So if you notice, what's happening is your shoulders are really being pulled back here. And anybody who has a hunchback, shoulders are drooped forward, a slouch spine as a usual posture, this is really good for the postural alignment. Because we tend to be so bunched up in our spine that this is correcting that. Okay? If you feel like it's too much, it's plenty, you can always take your hips slightly back and you'll still be in a good place. Now, you may sometimes feel like your tailbone is feeling a little crushed. So you can always keep a pillow under your hips and do the same position. It always feels a little more cushioned. So we're going to stay here now, guys, for 10 breaths. You can keep your knees bent. This is the easiest variation. You can keep your feet in Namaste, which is called Baddha Konasana. This is called Namaste on the floor. You can even straighten out your legs and point your toes, which I would say is the most intense variation. Now everybody pull your chest muscles forward and just stay there, enjoying this movement of heart opening for 10. It's really a nice heart opening stretch. Your shoulder blades at the back are gently coming together. 9, deep breathe. 8. If anyone is not feeling it and wants to feel it more, you can always bring the hands a bit closer and then it will always feel like a little more. And if you feel like it's too much, you can take your hands slightly wider and it will feel a lot less. So now the intensity and how much more or less you want is entirely up to you. It all depends on how you place your hands. 3 more deep breaths. 2. Keep breathing. And 1. Very good. Now do not come out in haste. We back up the knees to the start position. We gently walk the hands closer to the hips, and that's how we release. So we never come out in haste. You can release the pillow if you had it under. And now you may feel when you sit. So I want you to come back to a cross-leg pose like this. Anyhow, okay, so I'm taking this position. You can take any other position. You may feel like a little bit of tenderness now, and that comes from the residual tension from a stretch, especially around your joints. You may feel a little bit of tenderness. You might feel a little bit of sensitivity around here. We will address it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our wrist. This is my wrist, and I'm going to keep my wrist a bit floppy like this. And I'm going to take the back of my wrist, which is right here, and I'm going to place it right here under the arm as possible. So it's basically getting trapped as it. So this is how it's going to look inside you. Can you see? So I've kind of trapped my wrist right here. If you feel I can't even get there because sometimes we're quite tight, you can keep your wrist wherever along the side of your spine as is achievable and possible. Can you see how I'm kind of rising up? The higher you go with your wrist under your armpit, the tougher it gets. The lower you are, the easier it gets. I'm going to try to stay up here, right here. And now what I want you to do is get your wrist to kind of stick into the ribcage and then start to pull your elbows to the back or to the front. You can even take it slightly to the front like this and it feels like a good stretch. And you can even trap your wrist and take your elbows slightly back. You will feel a nice flexion around here, around the wrist. It's basically you're doing this to your wrist, but with the help of your ribcage. For 5 deep breaths. 4. Let's see if everyone can try taking elbows forward and just rounding up the back a little bit. 3, because that would be counterbalancing what we just did, which was that heart opening stretch. 2, so a lot of our practice is about balance. Yoga is all about balance. Balance of the right with the left, balance with the hot and the cold, balance of going forward or backwards. So there's always some sort of balance that we're finding. And this is the balance for the previous posture. Counterbalance. 2 and 1. Good. Slowly release. And you feel a little better now around your elbows. Just check. You may feel a tenderness is not as much. And your wrists, although feeling a little bit stretched, you will still feel better from that back stretch. Alright, now from here, I want us to stay exactly the way we are in the cross-leg pose. And I want to start to mobilize the spine now. So we've just finished the neck, we finished ankles, we did a little bit of elbow, wrist work, and of course shoulder work. And now I want to get into the spine itself. The spine is your neck region, your upper back, your mid back, your lower back, and also goes all the way down to your tailbone. So everybody keep your hips down on the floor and start walking your hands forward and stop. Just get a nice forward stretch like you're surrendering to the floor. And make sure your hips are still grounding. So make sure you're not lifting your butt to be able to go forward. Keep your butt grounding and then lengthen your spine. And now we'll stay here for 5 breaths, really lengthening your spine. So inside profile, I hope that you all are not looking like this. I don't want to see the big hills right here. I want you to feel that hill, that big rounded back, that curve, starting to lengthen. So can you gently start to pull your chest muscles forward and feel more of a straight line entry into your forward stretch. It may be that you're very tired and you're only here today, and that is wonderful. So don't think that going forward is giving you better stretching. You're always doing a wonderful job if you're mindful. So I always say don't chase range, chase better alignments and mindfulness. 4, deep breathe. 3, excellent everyone. Just study how the back is responding to the stretch. 2 and 1. And now I want you to keep the same length, and can you slowly move across to the right side. So what am I doing? I'm bringing my belly and my chest above the right knee. So I'm going diagonally forward in the same forward stretch, but I've just changed the orientation a bit. And now with my hands, I really direct my left hip back down, and then I keep lengthening my chest forward towards the right side. Now these basic simple stretches is where most of the release and the relief lies. You do not need to do complicated yoga postures to be able to feel good about the body or yourself. Something as simple as this can be so much more powerful than having to touch your hands to your toes or stand on your head. Having said that, standing on the head is a wonderful feeling, but you have to first get your basics and foundations going. 3, deep breathe. 2, and 1. Excellent. From here, what I'm going to do is, from here, I was in the diagonal forward stretch along with you. I'm going to take my right hand and place it right beside the right thigh. This is the right thigh, this is my right knee, and this is my right hip. So I place my hand right next to the mid thigh. This is the mid thigh, right here, and my hand is right there. I extend my hand a little bit to the side, so I get a little bit of a side stretch. And then I take that left hand and I stretch it all the way towards the right side. So now I'm in a side stretch, everybody, your hand can be here. If anyone is very, very sensitive in and around the neck, have very tight shoulders, you can keep your hand on your waist and you can still feel a good stretch. So remember, there's always an easier option, and there's also always a little more intermediate option. The intermediate option is if you're quite mobile, you can drop your elbow down like the way I'm dropping. Keep your left hip grounded throughout this, even though your elbow is down. And then open the ribcage out. So this is a little further deeper into the stretch. Whereas easier would be right here. For another 3 more deep breaths. Just drain out your tension. I always feel this way, and I say this very often in the practice. I feel like the side body is quite ignored. We're also invested in the abs and the back, and or else the front and the back. That we often ignore the side body. And the side body, when it is completely stretched out, it does wonders for the front and the back body. So that's a fact you'll come to know now when you finish the stretch. You feel really good. And now slowly release. Good job, guys. You may feel like this wow feeling, like you may feel like you've reacted to a stretch right now, but it felt good. All right, now we're going to go back to the forward stretch and we do the whole thing on the left side. So maybe check your, and it's fun to see that when I first attempted the stretch, I was here. But now when I attempted the second time, maybe you got more range without breaking the good alignment. Remember, the priority today and always is to have better alignment than to go all the way into range. We stay here for another 3 breaths, just keeping your hips anchored and keeping your spine lengthened. The deep breathing is a constant in the practice. Think of it as a key that's unlocking your tightness. So if you keep breathing deeply, that will unlock the tightness. But if you hold your breath and if you completely become like contracted and you resist the breathing and the stretching, you're not going to be feeling as much of an opening, all right? So just keep the deep breathing as a constant. Side diagonally forward. And I'm really keeping the right hip down and I'm trying to lengthen. So if you see right now, my back is pretty curved and curled. And so now I'm going to start to lengthen that curve. You can see the spine has become far more straighter. It may not be as easy, even if it's happened in a little tiny bit, that's really, really good. So don't worry if it's not happened all the way. Give me 2 more deep breaths here. And then very slowly we're going to that side stretch. So remember guys, this is my left knee, this is my left hip. And right here where I am pointing at, this portion right here is the mid-thigh. My left hand goes right beside the mid-thigh. I take my right arm and stretch it to the left side. If that's plenty, keep your hand on your waist. And if you want more, you can drop your elbow down, and that's when you feel this really nice opening where your spine attaches into your hip. All right, so remember, open your chest to the sky and the ceiling of your room wherever you're at as the sun. So what happens when the sunflower wants to face the sun? It will open up towards the sunlight. So really think of that, because that spinning action is everything. You really feel a better stretch all across. 2 more deep breaths. 2 and 1. Excellent. From here, very gently let go. And then you feel that same feeling of, you'll actually feel quite good. And now from here, we've just about gone forward, we've gone diagonally forward, and we've gone to the sides, on both sides. Now I want to take your spine towards the back to counterbalance all the forward bending. So what do? So now guys, you your feet like mine, which is 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, just for a few seconds, okay? Just for a back bend. So if you notice 1 foot in front of the pelvis, I just for you to set it up, this is it. Foot in front of the pelvis, the other foot in front. So you're no longer sitting like this. We often sit like a cross-leg pose. I do not want that. So we're right here. And now what we're going to do is, I'm going to show you the side profile. You're going to take your hands to the back like this. And if you notice, I'm not completely flattened. I'm slightly up on my fingers. And I'm going to slowly lift my butt off and get into a back bend. Now, this may seem a bit too much for some of you, especially if you're new to the practice. So what do? You once again take your hands to the back and you just push your chest forward and you still get a back bend. So don't worry if your hips don't lift. But if you can, squeeze your glutes and slowly lift your hips forward. And that really feels like a really nice stretch in the front body and a nice release in the back body just for 5 counts. You're doing really well. 4, deep breathe. 3, keep breathing guys. 2, squeeze the glutes. And 1, good. Slowly set the hips back down. Another thing I want us to do while sitting before I take you out is a twist. So that would be your spine going into all its mobility ranges, which is forward, diagonally forward, sidewards, backwards, and now we're going twist. So now everybody right, this is my right hand. I take right hand and I place it against the left knee. This would be against, would be on. So I don't want your hand to be on, I want it to be against the knee. You'll take this left hand, this is the hand, the left hand that I'm waving with, and you keep it behind your hip. And then you're going to start to twist. So this is what is happening at the back right here. I'm on the fingertips, I'm not collapsing. I'm on the fingertips. Why? Because I want the head to be right above the tailbone. I don't want you to go collapsing like this and break the line of the body, the center line. So keep your head above the tailbone and then slowly start to twist on the exhalations. A twist is coming from the rib cage that we earlier tried to mobilize for 5. And when you twist, often at times you may feel very stuck. I know I do as well. That's because your ribcage is a bony structure, everyone. So it's majorly bones and then just a bit of flesh. And anything that's bony and has a density can get very stiff. So this is why it may feel like a little bit of a, sometimes it may feel like the range is very less, but that's fine. Just keep deep breathing and gently that breath, that key will access the range. The rigidity will break. 2, deep breathe. And 1, brilliant. Now slowly release this gently and we'll do this to the other side. So my left hand goes against the right knee. My right hand spins back and then I take a deep inhalation, I lengthen the spine and on the exhalation I twist towards the right side. And this is also nice to do everything right and then left because it gets you really to understand which side is more open, which side is a little more stiff. Sometimes we already know it at the back of the head, but until we move, we really don't realize it. For 5. And the practice is not about acknowledging one side is strong. Okay, no problem. One side is weak. It's about knowing that, okay, the side that's weak, I will work on it to become stronger as the other side. 3, keep deep breathing. So we're constantly trying to find balance between the two sides. 2, and 1. Good job, guys. Slowly release and relax. That was good, everyone. And now we finally release the legs. So we're no longer in sitting position, but we're coming into this position called the all fours. So if you see, my wrists are under my shoulders. This is my shoulder right here. This is my wrist. So it's one straight line. And my knees are right under my hips. So you can pretty much see the lining right here. All right. So our practice is pretty linear. Try to come into these straight lines. It's called all fours position. And now we're going to do something called the cat and cow. I'm sure quite a few of you have already done it. If you haven't, it's one of the best things for the spine. So inhale, neutral spine, which is exactly where you are. And exhale, everyone, round your back. So what you should imagine right now is something really heavy on your back that you're kind of pushing upwards to the ceiling. You can look towards the belly button. And now inhaling, I want you to push your hips back, let your belly drop and lift your chin and chest up and look upwards. So this is how it looks. So you're kind of creating a curve or an arch in the lower back. Let's do this a couple of more times. Chin down, round the back, push the floor away and look towards the belly button. Imagine that something heavy is on your back and you're pushing it upwards. Good job. Keep those elbows straight. Push your hips back, let your belly drop and lift your chin and your chest up towards the sky. Let's do this a couple of more times. Exhale and round the back, chin down. Inhale and slowly hips to the back, belly drops, look up, chin up, chest up. Continue, exhale and round it back. The rounded back, everyone, is called the cat position. If you have a cat, or if you've ever seen a cat after they've woken up from a deep sleep, or if they're very angry, their back becomes like this. Inhale and look up, chin up, chest up is called the cow pose. So look up, chin up, chest up, arch from the lower back. Let's do this 2 more times. Exhale and round back, cat pose. And then inhale and slowly look up, chin up, chest up. Perfect. Last one. Exhale and round it back. Inhale and slowly look up, chin up, chest up. Very good. And now we take a little break. So you take your knees to the edges of the mat. You keep your toes touching. So my big toes touching like this on the floor. And you're going to slowly, gently have your hips rest on your heels. You straighten out your arms and you relax. Forehead on the floor. It's called the child's pose, Ardha Purmasan, Adho Mukha Virasana in Sanskrit. And stay here for 5 breaths. Completely relaxed. Just allow your spine to drop. Don't worry if your hips do not touch your heels. Just stay wherever feels comfortable and natural. 3 more deep breaths. 2. And 1. Excellent. From here, slowly, gently come back up. All fours position. And now we're going to be entering a position called the downward dog. So everyone, now this is a full body stretch. So it does involve being a little bit on your arms. So anyone who has weak wrists or any wrist issues or shoulder issues, you are most welcome to try it, but very mindfully and gently. All right. So now we're going to slowly, gently move into the position. It is like this. Come onto the all fours position and then slowly lift your legs up and push your chest towards the thighs like this. If you're very tight, you will bend the knees. So if you're tight in your hamstrings or your low back, you're going to bend the knees like this and stay. And if you're pretty mobile, you're going to keep your legs slightly more to the back and straighten out your legs and hold position. All right? Stay there. For 5. Let's all stay there in that position. 4. I'm just going to count it for you. Remember, bend the knees a bit if you're tight, or you can straighten out your legs. 3, if you feel like I just want to move around this position, pedal the legs a bit, move your hips a bit, no problem. 2, keep deep breathing. Just 1 more count, guys, everyone. Just feel that full body stretch as you push your chest to your thighs. And 1, excellent. From here, drop your knees down. Let's come back to the all fours position. And you're going to gently take the right foot forward and place it between the palms, just like this. So my right foot has come forward between the palms. If you're very tight, you're going to take your right foot a little bit to the right edge, like this. Okay, so now everybody who has a knee condition can bring the pillow under the knee like this. So I will wait for you. Go ahead and cushion your knee. Take your right foot forward. Keep your hands under the shoulders. You can keep your right foot outside on the edge, or you can keep your right hand inside like this. Your right foot inside like this. So this is a little tougher, guys, what I'm doing. And this is the easier option. Okay, now we're going to go forward and back, forward and back. We're going to do this a couple of times just to ease up the hamstring. This muscle right here that I'm kind of touching right here is called the hamstring, and this muscle gets very tight because of excess sitting. Okay, so you want to really just mobilize this going forward and back. When I go back, I keep my front foot lifting. Can you see the toes are up? Then I go back forward and back. Keep breathing, guys. 3 more deep breaths and 3 more repetitions. Back, forward and back. Anyone feels like I need more cushions, you can always take 2 more cushions. Remember, I asked you to have 3. And you can always keep 3 cushions like this. 1 under the knee, 2 under the hands, and then you go forward and back 1 more time, and then back to the front, forward. So guys, we're all here now in this lunge where the hips are going down and you can really feel this opening in the right outer hip, in the left upper thigh, and we just stay here for 5. Keep breathing. 4. Make sure that there is a good distance between your front foot and your back knee. 3. So guys, let your hips go down towards gravity. 2 and 1. Very good. Now from here, I'm going back to that counterbalancing stretch we just came from. So this is it. My toes are up, my hips are back. Everybody watch, my left hip is still above my left knee, so don't take your hips any more back. This is perfect. You can bend the right knee and pull your chest muscles forward, and there comes in the stretch in that hamstring I was referring to. And now we're going to stay here for 5. Now those of you who feel like my hamstring is as hard as a rock, and it does get that hard for all of us at times, you take your right hand and you just gently pat the area of tightness all the way into the back of the knee. Okay, just give it a little bit of that pat, it will definitely feel better. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. From here, you're going to come back to the front and you're going to slowly, gently release the pillows and you're going to take this right foot. So watch, you're going to take the right foot towards the left edge of the mat like this. And you're going to drop your right knee gently down. Okay? Now in front view, this is how it looks. This is how you were, which is right knee like this and right. This is how you should come. Right knee on the right edge and right foot under the left upper thigh. So how do you come here? If your foot was here, right here, you're going to walk the foot towards the left side like this. Use your hands to drop the knee down and then bring the foot under the upper thigh. It is called the pigeon pose. And if any of you feel like all this is too much, I cannot do anything, just go into the child's pose and relax there. Don't worry. Do not push. It's not a force. It's not a compulsion. I know you probably eaten your meal not too far back, so probably maybe an hour back. So if you want to take it a little easy, no problem. So this is how the rest of us are. Right knee on the right edge, right foot under the left upper thigh. You can see I'm taking my left leg all the way back. Try not to keep any of your hips down because you have to keep your hips off and then come onto your elbows like this. It's called the pigeon pose. It's one of the best ways for us to mobilize our hips. I'm going to do the same thing in front view. So this is what I'm going to show you. So this is how it looks in front view. Right knee on the right edge, right foot under the left upper thigh, and then I slowly come down onto my elbows. And now I'm going to stay here for around 10 breaths, just breathing into the outer hip. So remember guys, right knee and right foot diagonal. For 5 more deep breaths. 4, you're doing a really good job. Try to complete the whole floor right and left, and then we'll start to relax together. 3, you're not too far off from your final Shavasan position. 2, but before you get there, really want to open up all the tension in the rest of your body, especially your hips. And 1, very good. From here, you slowly, gently sit onto your right butt. You can bring your left leg forward and you can slowly give it a bit of a stretch to straighten out your legs. Give yourself a bit of a stretch. Maybe wiggle your legs again, the way that we were doing earlier. And then we'll slowly get to the other side. So what do we do to get to the other side? We come back to the all-fours position. So I'm going to do it this way now. So this is me in the all-fours position. Let's all meet here very slowly. And then can you take your left foot forward outside the left palm? Okay, so left foot forward outside the left palm. You can take your right knee 2 steps to the back like this. If you see my legs are pretty wide and that's how my hips really feel the opening. You want to get your cushions in, cushion your knee and keep both hands under the cushion. And that's your easy variation. So now we're going to go forward and back. 1, 2, forward and back. Anyone who feels this is too much, you can just stop here today. Don't move. 3 and back. The rest of you can find your movement. 4 and back. Keep the deep breathing on. 5 and back. You're doing a really good job. Let's do 5 more of these. 6 and back. Meanwhile, have you studied or observed how your left hamstring is responding? 7, back. 8, back. Is it tighter than your right or is it more open? What is your observation? Back. For me, I always find that my left side is a bit tighter. It's not the case for everyone. 9, back. And 10. Good job. And back. Excellent. Now we'll stay in the front position right here for 5 breaths. Stay here for 1. Keep deep breathing. 2. So I'm really letting my hips go down towards gravity like this. 3. Deep breathe. 4. Feel that lovely opening, guys. The hips hold a lot of emotional pent-up tension. So let them go. All the tension should release. Let the hips go down. And 5. And now slowly come back. Flex your foot. So see what my toes are doing. They're up. I'm bending my knee a little bit. I'm pulling my chest forward. I feel a tightness in the hamstring. I maybe pat it out for another 5. Deep breathe. When you feel a little more open, you can get your hand back down. 4. Deep breathe. 3. Don't give up. 2. You're doing a really good job. And 1. Good job, guys. From here, we're going to get into the pigeon. So what do? You see, this is my left leg. I walk my left foot towards the right side like this. All right. And then I very slowly keep my hand down and drop my left knee down. And then I take my left foot under the right upper thigh. This is my right leg right here. I walk the tail of the pigeon back and I come onto the elbows and I'm in this beautiful stretch called Iike Rajaka Potterson, which is your pigeon pose on the left side. Now I'm going to give you the front view again, and those of you who already know it can just linger in. So this is how the front view is. You see my left knee is here, my left foot is under the right thigh, my right leg is all the way back, and then I come onto the elbows. Let's stay here for 10 deep breaths, releasing all the tension in the hips. For 5, remember this, when your hips have been mobilized, everybody, your lower back tension lifts, and anybody who has knee tension will also feel much better. So sometimes to release the lower back, you don't have to keep going in towards the lower back. You actually have to release the areas around the lower back to make the lower back feel better. That's always the approach. Always approach the neighboring areas of the place of pain or tension. Get those neighboring areas to open up and become stronger, and the place itself that has the problem will go. The problem will go. 2, deep breathe. I'm sure you've experienced that because we've all experienced some aches and pains. And then we've worked on strengthening the areas around that ache and pain and always feels better. And 1. Very nice, guys. You sit onto your left butt and then you slowly release and you're going to come to sitting again, but this time with your feet in Namaste, cobbler's pose. It's called cobbler's pose. In Sanskrit, it's called Baddha Konasana. Baddha means bound, like a bound angle pose. Kona is angle and asana. So we're here. Now, if you're here and you feel like I'm sitting, but I'm sitting like this, it's very natural because your hips are tight. What do? You take your feet slightly forward and then that tightness will immediately drop, as in you won't feel as restricted. Those of you who are open and you know you're open, your feet will be really close to your pelvis and your knees will be pretty much down. So choose what works for you. I'm going to go for the mid-range here because I want even the beginners to feel like I'm with them. And now what I want you to do is, once again, I want you to move forward into your forward stretch. So, dheere, 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 dheere. Walk your hands forward. Remember, we want to avoid the rounding back approach. We want to work on the lengthening the back approach. And now your inner thigh muscles and your groin muscles will really feel the firing, which is a good fire. It's an Agni. It's a beautiful fire. It's a heat that's creeping up into your muscles and breaking through the stiffness. Deep breathe for 5. Deep breathe. 4. Chest muscles forward, guys. 3. Really keep your hips rounding. 2. And 1. Very nice. Slowly come back out. Come back up. Excellent. And now from here, straighten out your legs like this. And sleep to anyone's side and come onto your back. So what I want you to do is lie on your back, sleeping to anyone's side. So what do I mean? I mean go to one side and come onto your back like this. Okay? Come onto your back and everyone will hug the knees to the chest like this. And if you feel not too, I can't do that, I feel restricted, you can even just hold your knees like that or just stay there and just gently swing from side to side. The hugging of the knees is not a compulsion. Those of you who can will hug. Those of you who feel very restricted can just keep the hands down for 5. Deep breathe. This is just a nice massage for your lower back after all the stretching we've done. 3, deep breathe. 2, very nice. It's actually very relaxing. And 1, good. Slowly come back to the center. Drop your feet down on the floor. So if you see my feet are apart at a hip distance, I extend my arms forward towards my feet. Only my fingertips are touching the heels, everyone, so try to stay there. And then inhale, squeeze the glutes and lift your hips up. Exhale and down. So what are we doing? We're going to lift the hips up to the sky and then we're going to drop the hips down. Let's go. 2, inhale and lift your hips. Exhale and down. Good. If you've understood it, look up to the ceiling. Try not to look at me because I want your neck to be relaxed. 3, inhale and lift the hips. Exhale and down. Now, why am I doing this? It's because it's giving your low back length and it's giving your glutes, which is your butt muscles, activation. Now, why do we want to activate the butt muscles? Because when the butt muscles are inactive, again, lower back goes for, it gets into weakness, gets into pain, gets into all sorts of compression. And your knees also start feeling a lot of tightness and tension. Remember, when muscles are not engaging, the weight-bearing joints, which is your hips, which is a weight-bearing joint, your shoulders, your knees, your ankles, they start taking unnecessary load. And that's when all the pains and the aches come in. Let's do this 3 more times. Squeeze the glutes and lift up. Inhale and up. Squeeze and fire those glutes. Exhale and down. 2 more times. Inhale and come up, guys. Exhale and come down. Last 1. Inhale and come up. And let's just try to test ourselves here as we stay here for 10. Up all the way. 9. You can keep your hands down. 8. If it's too intense, breathe out from your mouth. 7. Squeeze the glutes. 6. Feet down. 5. Excellent. You can even gently draw the belly in. 4. So your paws also gently activating. 3. Deep breathe. Don't come down. 2. And 1. Very good. Drop your hips down. And this time, when you bring your knees to your chest, you're going to open your legs out and you're going to try to bring your hands like this. This is the midsole of my foot. My hand has gone there from inside. It's called Anand Balasana. Now, if you're very tight in your neck, you can keep a pillow under your neck like this. And if you're not so tight, you don't need the neck, but this always feels a little more comfortable. You keep your hands on the midsoles of the feet and then you gently swing your legs from side to side. It has a beautiful meaning and a name, as the name suggests, happy baby. Think of a little happy baby in his or her cot. They're always on their back, giggling away, holding their feet, eating their toes, and doing it so effortlessly for probably several hours. Sometimes they're playing like this. But as we grow as adults, when I make anyone do this, it feels very painful because the hips and the back and the hamstrings have gotten so tight. So can you find it? If you feel like I can't hold my feet, you can even keep your hands like this. And don't worry, you're still going to feel the stretch for another 5. Just swing from side to side, find that playfulness. 4, don't give up, guys. 3, soles of the feet facing the sky. My feet are quite wide. 2, think like a baby in your mind's eye. And 1, excellent. Come back. Bring your legs together. Keep your feet apart. Take your hands to the sides and extend your arms to the sides in this 180 angle. So my hands are to the sides at 180. My feet are apart. I take a deep inhalation. Remember what we did at the start? We walk the legs towards one side. So swing your legs towards the left side. Inhale and come back to the center. This time swing your legs towards the right side while you look towards the left. So these are twists on your back, which is very therapeutic. Inhale into the center, exhale and twist, look towards the right side. And then inhale and center, exhale and twist, look towards the left side. Let's do this 2 more times, everyone. Inhale and center, exhale and twist. Just getting your lower back to feel a little nice and open. Inhale and center, exhale and twist. And the last one is a little bit of an intense one. You can take it or you can do the same one. Those of you who want an easy stay with this position, rest of you right knee above the left thigh and you can slowly swing your legs. So your right knee is above your left leg. You swing your legs to the left side and that feels like such a nice twist. Keep your shoulders down and you can stay here for 5. Breathe. Just feel the whole tension around your outer hips, outer spine, lower back releasing. 2 and 1. Excellent. Slowly come back to the center. Switch legs. Left leg above the right. Inhale here and exhale. Twist your body towards the right side. Look towards the left side for 5. You're all doing really well. Just enjoy these twists. 4. I often say that twist is like what Nimbu Pani does to the body. If you have Nimbu, it kind of detoxifies you, correct? So that's exactly what a twist does. It takes the soiled cloth. You know how very, very dirty towel is. When you kind of nichoro it or kind of really wring it, all the dirt spills out. So that's what's happening in a twist. Your spine is being twisted and all the blockages are leaving. So it's very good for your systems as well to infuse the systems with blood and with oxygen. And 1. Slowly come back to the center. All right. Okay, sorry, I couldn't see you guys for a second there. When you're back, you're going to slowly interlace your fingers and you're going to stretch your arms all the way to the back. I'm just going to come slightly down so you can see. So this is what you're going to do. Stretch your arms to the back, point your toes forward. Imagine that you're a rubber band that's being pulled in opposite directions for 5. Deep breathe. 4. Imagine that you're really, really elastic here. 3. You have this elasticity through the body, which it does have. 2. And you found that elasticity in the past 45 minutes that we moved. 1 more deep inhalation, exhalation, and 1. Excellent, everybody release. And now you're going to take those 3 pillows, okay? And you're going to go into a very comfortable, relaxing position called Shavasan. You may have heard of it before. So this is it. That's your end of your practice. And this is the best thing that you can do. So try not to skip it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to slowly be onto the back. We're going to open up the hair. This is for all the girls and ladies. Open up the hair and keep it relaxed. Everybody get your neck on a pillow. And then you can slowly take 2 pillows like this and open out your knees into the cobblers, pose feet in namaste like this. This is very relaxing. I often rest like this. Or you can take 2 pillows and place them under your knees and just straighten out your legs. This also is very relaxing for the lower back, and then just stretch and relax. If you don't have 3 pillows, don't worry. You can just be flat on the floor. That's actually the traditional position. All the pillows and the support systems are just some added benefits and some added convenience and comfort to the practice. So I want you to be in Shavasana on the pillows or on the floor. And I'm just going to guide you through a little short sleeping meditation. It's called a body scan. So now once you're in Shavasana, I want you to just shut your eyes. I hope that you all are in the position. Take another 2 minutes to get in, a minute or 2 minutes to get into the position. And then allow yourself to melt. So you just come to the end of this hour-long practice. It was a simple, gentle practice. Maybe for some of you it felt a bit too much. Maybe for some of you it felt very easy. But at the end of it, the takeaway is how you feel. Do you feel far more mobile? Do you feel far more positive? Do you feel far more relaxed? That is the importance of the practice, not having to have your hands touch the toes or doing some posture in its entirety, but to feel completely at bliss and at peace at the end of your practice. So everyone in Shavasana, can you shut your eyes? Can you release your watches, your hairbands, your jewelry, anything that's kind of trapped on your skin? Can you keep it aside? And then just notice how you feel as you sink back into the earth, completely still. Feeling the back of your head completely relaxed. The back of your neck completely relaxed. Feeling your shoulders, elbows, and your wrists completely relaxed. Feeling all 10 fingertips completely relaxed. Feel your chest, ribcage, and your heart relaxed. Feel your shoulder blades and your upper back completely relaxed. Feel your belly relaxed. Your mid back and your lower back completely relaxed. Feel your pelvis and your hips relaxed. Your tailbone completely relaxed. Feel the thighs and the hamstrings relaxed. The inner thighs and the outer hips completely relaxed. Feel the entire circumference of your knees relaxed. Your shins and your calves relaxed. Feel your ankles relaxed. Soles of your feet and all the fatigue, heat, tension in the soles of your feet draining downwards, leaving the soles of the feet completely relaxed. And finally, feel all 10 toes completely relaxed and free. Your entire body is now completely at rest, from your head to your shoulders, from your shoulders to your fingertips, from your shoulders to your hips, and from your hips to your toes. Slowly and gently, I want you to wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing back movement into the body. As you slowly slip towards the right side, right hand supporting your head, knees bent. Just sleep on your right side, curl up with your eyes shut, and stay here for 2 to 3 breaths. Inhale and slowly comfortable seated posture. Similar posture which we started the practice in, but this time with your eyes completely shut and your palms in Namaste. And I want you to honestly notice how you feel at the end of this mini flow together. Just be very honest with how you feel. And we'll end this beautiful practice that we've all shared together with one deep Om chant followed by 3 Shantis. Inhale to prepare. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Rub your palms, everyone, keeping your eyes shut. You're rubbing your palms to create heat, so find the heat. Finding the heat, gently cup your eyes. Dab your face with this brilliant heat-like energy in your palms. Down the neck, the heart, back to your palms in Namaste. And then end this beautiful practice with a lot of gratitude as you bow down to the earth, to your mat, to your own efforts, and especially to the beautiful team that has organized so many such lovely sessions for you every other week, every other day, for your self-growth and for your wellness. Gently peel open the palms, face towards the palms. Very slowly open your eyes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sonali.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.
This was a super session in reminding us about being mindful, providing the much necessary moments of peace and calm in what can otherwise be such a chaotic world around us. We don't seem to have any questions that have come in, so I take that as a strong indication of the fact that your session has had its targeted goal of getting people to feel the stretches, the movement, the feeling of peace and gratitude, and they're probably just dealing with or so grateful for what they're feeling right now that no questions have come in right away. But what I would like to ask on their behalf, because I know a couple of people expressed these concerns to me before the webinar started, one of them being, what about when they are really too pressed for time? What if people really cannot, carve out an entire hour to themselves? What is the quick fix remedy that you would suggest for at least some kind of basic yoga practice?
That's a very good question, and I understand it's also relevant. So I think the best thing to do is to stretch out the areas, like I spoke to you about the joints.
Yes.
So always start with the joints. The moment you release your joints, even with simple rotations or movements, the energy starts flowing again, because these are the weight-bearing areas of the body, and when the body is tired, the load starts to come on these areas, and when these areas are not looked after, the problems get bigger. And that's when you have your slip disc and your sciatica and you have all such problems coming through. So you have to keep your joints mobile throughout, and the moment you find a little release in your joints, you start feeling this energy flow. And I also feel like the just basic cat and cow, where your spine kind of feels this kind of opening, is really good, because your spine is the house of your nervous system. So when your spine releases in simple movements like this, your nervous system feels far more relaxed and activated, and the body starts feeling better. So these are the things I would go for. Joints and spine release, it doesn't take more than 5 minutes to do that.
Lovely. That's super guidance. We have a parent who particularly would like to ask for your recommendation for children at this particular point of time during the lockdown.
How old is this child that she's asking for? Is it a certain age? Then I would know like that.
Well, this particular parent hasn't specified, but I would say from young children, about 6, 7 years old, all the way up to teenagers of 15, 16.
With kids, I think it's important to keep them feeling engaged, because for them, making them sit down and say, okay, now come on, do a meditation, they might not enjoy. But the thing is, I think just to keep it playful with the kids, especially if they're younger and probably like below your 10, and like even if they're 10-year-olds, is to just tell them about the cat and cow, kind of get them to imitate nature. And I think that's what they really enjoy, because even if you have a pet at home and you observe the pet, like, and then, you kind of emulate those movements, so keeping them doing the downward dog, the cat and cow, there's cobra, I think just play around with the fact that there's so many names that are like named after the animals. So I think the kids kind of like that. So keep them supple like that, and then you can just very slowly, like every day, you sit down and you incorporate a few moments of silence and say, okay, now we're going to focus on the breathing or on meditation. The kids do that, because the moment the parents do it, the kids do it too. So I think this is a great time when parents are home to actually start inculcating a little bit of meditation techniques for kids, because going back, honestly, the moment this lifts and we're all back, we're all going to be with our textbooks and with the pressure of exams and whatnot. So why not take this very precious time that we've been given to inculcate some little bit of meditation with them, because they enjoy it. They'll enjoy anything that you do and you enjoy it. But you have to practice what you preach. So you cannot just make them do it. You'll have to do it yourself almost every other day. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, that's great guidance. Well, this particular parent did answer. Her child is 10 years old. And but you've answered that adequately. Yes, and very relatable for you to suggest that things that they see their pets doing, and names that they can understand. So that was very relatable advice. We have another parent asking if you would recommend something in particular. Do you recommend something in particular for core strengthening, for strengthening the core?
Yes, absolutely. There's actually this position right here. And why I'm asking you to do this and not a usual plank, you might have seen a plank. A plank actually is like this. where you kind of like this. This is really good, but the thing is that if you're not doing it right, you may just wrists. So I recommend that you just sleep on your back like this, and then you can just keep your legs up and keep your hands under the butt and try to time this for very long. With keeping the belly down and the lower back down, this is really good because it targets exactly your core without having to strain your wrists. Because the thing is, with anything that I recommend, and even a class like this, it's so important to have a teacher guide you in terms of your alignments. So I don't want to recommend something that will only make you feel more strained, but I'd rather give you something which is purely targeting this area without straining others. So that's a nice position to do for the core.
Okay. We have a couple of more questions that, if you don't mind, I'll quickly ask you.
Sure.
One of them is about what about adults, or I mean, what about any individuals that need to deal with gas problems to do with gas in their systems?
Pavan Muktasan and Vajrasan. So Pavan Muktasan would be this position right here. This kind of linger here. It's called Pavan Muktasan. So as the name suggests, it's really good for acidity indigestion if you do this or this for a couple of moments. Then the next position would be Malasana. I think we've all kind of experienced this before because the Indian loose system was meant to be like that, and very rightly so, because it actually was for being able to massage the bowel system, so that in the morning the first thing you do is just kind of release all the waste that needs to be out. And the Western loose system has completely ruined that, and I think we're all very used to that. So I would say sit like that a little more. And if your heels don't drop down, you can always pop to pillows. A lot of us are just stuck like this. You can pop to pillows like that and spend some time here. This is very good for the bowel system. And the most effective, of course, along with these two is Vajrasan, which is right here. So this one, but on the heel, this is very good for digestion. Just remember, you're not to do Malasana or the sleeping position after meals. This is the only position you can do after your meals, immediately after eating. It's actually very good for digestion. This one. Yeah, okay. That's what I would suggest to the person who's asking that question. Yeah.
Okay. So we have a follow-up question based on what you showed for core strengthening. And the question is whether the legs can be rested against the wall to do that.
Then it takes away the pause walk, because then you're making it too easy. So at the most, you can bend your knees, but don't have any kind of rest to be given to your legs, because then the core is not doing its work. For something to work, you have to put a little bit of load on it, or you have to give it a little bit of tension so it kind of starts working. Because if you make it too easy, then that thing won't work, which is your core.
Okay. So we've had other people typing in comments and appreciating this session. They found it very useful. We've had another parent ask about what your advice is, particularly for a 16-year-old boy, but you've kind of already answered that when somebody asked you for their children earlier.
Definitely meditation is the way to go, because the thing is that I think kids need to know how to keep this portion very shant and relaxed and not given to peer pressure or, even the exam pressure, because we weren't taught at our age how to meditate or how to deal with our emotions and feelings, and even we weren't even taught how to breathe. I think breathing is something that's a given, right? You're breathing since the time you're born, but how to breathe, how to deal with your emotions, how to deal with pressure, how to deal with all the things that life is going to come throwing at you is so important, and that comes from meditation. So I would definitely, teenagers need to meditate, but they will not do it very easily because it's a new concept. So you have to be the parent who's sitting with them, making them understand. I think as a 16-year-old, their maturity is pretty much in. So I would say definitely meditation is the way forward.
Okay. Again, more comments coming in about how fantastic this session has been. We have more regular, etc. So point noted, and we'll try and look into that possibility. Can't make any promises now, but for now, I'd like to extend the formal vote of thanks. Tanvi, would you like to share any concluding words?
Well, I haven't seen anybody, and I find it so funny to work like that because I'm so used to seeing my students. But I really pray and hope that it did make an impact and people enjoyed. And as you said, they have. And if there's any real feedback that you want to give me about the class or anything, please do tell Sonali, or if there's any way we can communicate, I would love to know. But keep moving, and I think that's the most important thing. Meditation is also moving. Meditation can also be painting. Meditation can also be dancing. Meditation can be anything, but just put your mind into it, and that's the beauty of that's yoga. Honestly, at the end of the day, just not having to touch your hands, your toes. That isn't yoga. Yoga is just being mindful with your child, with your meal, with your husband, with your staff, everything, and be really honest and loving throughout. Yeah, so that's what it is. I want to end it there. Yeah.
Oh, that was beautifully summed up. Can you hear me?
Yes,
oh, I'm so sorry. For a minute, I thought we were disconnected. Yes, so that's beautifully summed up. And the reminder once again to end the session about just the need and the importance to be mindful in everything we do is the #1 takeaway point for me personally. And what you have done through the session, Tanvi, is reminded us to fall in love with taking care of ourselves. It may have seemed as if you're taking us through the idea of through yoga, through the exercise that you were showing, but we realized having gone through the session that it's not just the body, it's the mind, the body, and the spirit. So thank you so much for navigating these waters. I know you'd be so much more comfortable with people in front of you, that you would be more in control of correcting, but this has been very apt guidance for those of us locked in at home and looking for some form of release for our stress and tension levels. So thank you very much once again. Thank you to Mr. Sujay Jairaj in particular and the rest of the management of Narsee Educational Trust for these webinars. Thank you to everyone involved who makes these possible. I'd like to make the exciting announcement of what we have lined up for you for Wednesday. Mr. Manish Paul, actor and comedian, is going to join us at 3:30. His topic is going to be very interesting, humor in the lockdown situation. I'm not revealing the exact words of the topic yet. The invitation will follow soon. Please look out for those details and do join us in large numbers on Wednesday afternoon to understand the personal journey that Manish has been on and to be able to partake of some of his quintessential humor. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon. I hope this session has been as promising and meaningful for you as it has been for me. Bye-bye, Tanvi. Thank you very much.